So the first thing we're going to do to make our keto poha is prep our cauliflower, and that's because the cauliflower is the poha and it's also the potato. So you're going to first separate the cauliflower florets from the stalk. Then once you have done that, you're going to wash your cauliflower thoroughly and make sure you get out all the gunk from it. Then I'm going to take the florets and I'm going to rice them in my food processor using the grater attachment. You can also grate them by hand, but I just think it gets way too messy. Once that's done, it's on to my cauliflower stalks, which I'm going to cut into little squares, and this is what is going to mimic the potatoes in poha. Oh yes guys, cauliflower is the new potato. So cut it into little square pieces like you would for potatoes. Then you're going to take those cauliflower potatoes and dunk them in salted boiling water, and then just let them boil for 5 to 10 minutes or till they are nice and tender. Once they are done, remove them with a slotted spoon and set them aside. Now I'm going to get a pan on the stove and I'm going to add in 20 grams of peanuts, and you just want to roast the peanuts. So you can dry roast them. If you have pre-roasted peanuts, you can use that, no problem. So just dry roast it. Once it has a little bit of color on it, just take it out of the pan and set it aside. Then in that same pan, I'm going to add a tablespoon of olive oil, and I'm also going to add some butter to that. Now ideally I would have used some ghee, but since I had none at home, I'm using this for now. Then in goes a generous helping of mustard seeds. And once those mustard seeds start popping, I'm going to add in my curry leaves. I'm also going to throw in about 60 grams of chopped onions and give it all a good mix. Now I'm just going to season this with a little bit of salt to help the onions along their way. Now I'm going to add in some turmeric, and then I'm going to add in my roasted peanuts, and I'm also going to throw in one de-seeded green chili. That's because I don't like things spicy, but you can leave the seeds in if you want a nice spicy poha. And of course give it all a good mix. And you kind of want to fry out the spices. Anyway, once you have cooked out the spices a little bit, then we add in our cauliflower and give it all a good mix. You want to season this again with a little bit of salt. And then I'm just going to add a splash of water to this. Give it all a good mix. And then I'm just going to cover it with the lid and let it cook till the cauliflower is nice and tender. This should take you about 5 to 10 minutes. Anyway, once that cauliflower is done, I'm going to throw in our fake potatoes. Oh yeah, give it all a good mix, get those flavors into that fake potato. And I'm just going to finish it off with some fresh coriander and a nice big squeeze of some lime juice. And that's it. Your ketogenic poha is ready. Can you believe it? Just serve it in a bowl or a plate or eat it straight from the pan. I don't care. I'm not judging you. Anyway, that poha looks absolutely delicious. First we're going to make the chutney before we make the dosa, and we're going to take 100 grams of coconut, 10 grams of ginger, 1 green chili that has been de-seeded because I don't like it spicy, but if you want it spicy, keep those seeds in. And we're going to add some salt for seasoning. Add 2 tablespoons of water, cover the lid, and then just grind this down to a coarse paste. Now if it doesn't grind perfectly, you can add a little more water just to make the paste smoother. Take that out in a bowl, and the first part of making our chutney is done. Now it's time to make the vagar or the tempering of the spices. In a pan, we're going to heat up some coconut oil. To that, I'm going to add some mustard seeds, a dried red chili, some curry leaves, and a little bit of hing or asafoetida. Once those seeds are popping, we're going to pour that over our chutney. Mix that all in nicely. And that's it, the coconut chutney is ready. Now for the dosa, we're going to take 2 tablespoons of almond flour, 2 tablespoons of grated mozzarella cheese, 2 tablespoons of coconut milk, a pinch of salt, a pinch of cumin powder, and a pinch of hing or asafoetida. Give that all a good mix and we've got our dosa batter ready. This is the consistency we're looking for. Now we're just going to very lightly oil the pan and pour in our dosa batter. And then you want to spread it around so it's nice and thin, because we want a nice thin and crispy dosa. And then you just let it cook. You can also choose to grate some more cheese on it for a cheesy dosa. You can put in some bhaji of your choice here. Many options, but we're just going to keep it plain for now. Once that's done, I'm just going to fold the dosa and it's ready. Oh my god, does that look delicious or does it look delicious? So to make our upma, we're going to first take our cauliflower florets and put them in our blender, and we're going to use the blade attachment and we're going to just blend it till it's like a couscous consistency. Now I use the grater attachment for a more rice-like consistency, but upma is more like couscous, so that is why we're using the blade attachment. Once it looks something like this, we're good to go. I'm going to heat up 2 full tablespoons of ghee in my kadai, which is basically like an Indian saucepan, and the reason is that we need lots of fat on keto, so I'm going to make sure that we get it. Into that I'm going to add a teaspoon of cumin seeds and a teaspoon of mustard seeds. Once that starts sizzling a little bit, I'm going to add in my ginger. I'm now going to add in a chopped onion. I'm also going to add in 1 green chili that has been de-seeded, because you guys know I don't like spicy food, but you can leave those seeds right in. My curry leaves and some peanuts, just because we like a little bit of crunch, and the original recipe calls for a dal or lentil which we can't use. Anyway, give that all a good mix. Now I'm just going to season this mixture to help the onions along their way. Always good to season your dish throughout the journey it takes. And now you just want to cook these onions low and slow till they start to just about get some color. We don't really want to get much color on them, but just till they start getting some color. So every once in a while, give it a good mix. Now once our onions are starting to look like they're going to caramelize, we're going to add in our cauliflower couscous. And then give it all a good mix. You want to fry that raw cauliflower with the spices. Now I'm just going to season that cauliflower with some salt, and I'm going to pour in some water and then just cover it and let it cook. Now you want to cook this till the cauliflower becomes nice and tender. So every once in a while keep checking in on it, give it a good mix, make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom of the pan. You want to cook it till all the water has dried out and you basically have a lovely cauliflower upma. Now our cauliflower upma has been cooking for about 10 minutes and it looks about done. So I'm going to finish it off with a garnish of fresh coriander, because that always just enhances the dish tenfold, in my humble opinion. Anyway, that's pretty much it. our cauliflower upma or keto upma is ready. And oh yeah, that looks pretty good and I can't wait to tuck in